How do you identify yourself as a man? If you want to find the right girlfriend or wife, the single biggest change you can make to increase the probability that you'll find an amazing woman is to change how you view yourself. The story you tell yourself about yourself dictates your outcomes. You have to understand that the results you have in your life, for example, the fact that you're single right now, or that you're only meeting the wrong women, or that you don't have enough dates, they come from your actions. Duh, David, that's obvious. Yeah, well, where do your actions come from? Your thoughts and your emotions. In other words, your beliefs. What you believe about women as a whole, or dating apps, or yourself, for that matter, is going to determine the actions you will take. The how is not really the issue, my friend. If you were really determined, if you had the inner certainty and the confidence that XYZ, you were worth it, that it was possible, that amazing women are just waiting to meet you, then you would find a way. There's only 4 ways to get dates, by the way. There's dating apps, Instagram, approaching, and social circle. That's it. There is no other how. There's micro hows. There's sub-strategies within each of those categories, absolutely. But it starts with how you view yourself. My personal favorite is meeting women in person, but dating apps work really well. Instagram works really well. Social circle, meh, kind of limited, but it can work. If you don't change how you view yourself and what follows the words I am, you will never take the actions that are necessary to attract and keep the right type of woman. If you don't have at least one quality date every single week, you'll never find a woman you're truly compatible with. Because in order to find somebody that you're truly compatible with, physicality-wise, looks, same thing, personality and values, and IQ, you need a lot of quality options to choose from, not just so you can become a player. But in order to get that many options, you need to take actions consistently. So it starts with mindset. So how do you view yourself? I am what? I've just never been good with technology. I've just never been good with dating apps. I'm just not the kind of guy who approaches women. I don't need that. I don't have time. What follows the words I, and even more so I am, is going to dictate your future, my friend. And I would ask you right now to reflect on how you've defined yourself. How have you limited yourself? And we as human beings, we question anything except for the things we truly believe, those we just believe. Those unexamined assumptions, they're going to cost you everything. So you need some mechanism to question those assumptions, and I hope I can get you to explore some of those limiting beliefs, some of those limiting ideas that have been consciously or unconsciously existent in your mind today, to let go of them. I've never been good at technology. Really, dating apps are really simple to figure out. You just touch a screen on a phone and a woman appears and wants to get to know you. It's not that difficult. Yes, you need the right followers. Yes, you need the right text. It's just a skill set. Easy. I've just never been the kind of guy to meet women. What that actually is, it's just a fear of rejection. You haven't overcome your fear of rejection. Whatever limits this, just ask yourself, I have not found the right girlfriend or wife. Why? What comes up right now? What's the excuse? What's the belief? What is the legitimate reason that you attribute validity to? Well, whatever that is, it's a lie. It's a lie, my friend. It's not true. Because if other people have done it, you can do it as well. I am too old. There's plenty of men in their 50s and 60s who found them, 70s, 80s. You can do it as well. Yeah, in my city. Well, first of all, there's probably a lot more women in your city. You haven't talked to all of the attractive single ladies in your city. You haven't used dating apps effectively. You haven't used Instagram to DM local pages, followers in a calibrated, respectful, and effective way. And even if that was the case, go to the next bigger city. Do non-exclusive long distance. Long distance always leads to pain. But you can do non-exclusive long distance with several different women, being totally honest about that, and then choose the person who's best suited for you for the long term. There's so many things you could do, you haven't done because of how you define yourself. I would encourage you to rewrite that story. Anything you want, my friend, is on the other side of I am. And then the actions that will follow it is not just about affirming some nonsense and then meditating and waiting for God to bestow his most precious blessings. In other words, an amazing woman into your life. It will require action, but you will never take the actions if you don't have the emotional certainty. In other words, the beliefs to back it up. So, who are you? Rewrite that story in your own mind. Ideally, write it down. That's a bit weird. Winners do what failures won't. It's a bit weird to write down how I define myself. Do you have a fixed mindset or a growth mindset? Do you have a victim's mentality Or are you somebody who makes shit happen in your own life? Is it not weird to consume substances on a weekend so you can feel at ease with yourself to actually talk to a woman? Or just need a couple of drinks first? That is weird. If you can't even talk to somebody without being drunk, without being on substances, that is weird. Oh, I need caffeine to feel awake. That is weird. Now, I'm not judging either. You can drink if you want. You can consume caffeine if you want. I've done both in the past. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's fine. But just understand that what society may define as a little bit unusual is exactly the reason why most people have average and mediocre results. And that's exactly the reason why most men will never have a fulfilling relationship. Actually look around. How many men do you actually really know that are in fulfilling relationships with women they're truly physically attracted to, who are aligned with the company, who are aligned on their personality and values, and who have a similar level of IQ so they can have intellectually stimulating conversations? Well, my friends are married. Really? The only factor of success is that they're married? That can't possibly be the case, because if just being in a relationship was all it took, plenty more people would already be qualifying for a successful relationship, and that evidently isn't the case. If you want an unusual outcome, like a truly fulfilling relationship with an amazing woman, you have to be willing to put in the work. But in order to be able to do that sustainably, you have to change your beliefs, change how you view yourself. And then if a date doesn't go the way you want it to, how do you talk to yourself? Well, I'm never going to figure this out. I know women don't like gingers with crooked teeth. What was I meant to do? It's all nonsense. Refuse to live in an adversarial relationship with yourself. Refuse to utter anything disempowering about yourself ever again. The way you talk to yourself on a daily basis changes and rewires the relationship you have with yourself. And the relationship you have with yourself depends on the words you utter, and that will ultimately dictate the actions you take in the long term. So write them down. Utter new words in your head. Utter new words out loud. Refuse to put yourself down. You know how we as human beings sometimes bond with others by putting ourselves down, by using self-deprecation? Oh yeah, sure, look. Somebody congratulates you. Oh yeah, it wasn't that big a deal. Just say thank you. Stop talking yourself down. Now, using self-deprecation every once in a while is an amazing tool to build rapport. But if you use it too much, it weakens your sense of self. Apologizing too much, which I did with my ex-wife way too much, weakens your sense of self. It weakens you in your core. And if you're not strong in your core as a man, which is something you recreate on the day-to-day basis, just like the relationship you have with yourself, the right woman will lose interest in you. So here's my invitation. Rewrite the story of how you see yourself. Take the right actions, and you'll be able to find an amazing woman.